What's happening, Dolphins fans? Welcome to the Fins Up Network. In today's video, we're going to be talking the top 3 questions surrounding your Miami Dolphins entering the 2022 NFL Draft. And what I want you to do as we are going through these questions, I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions as well. So as we go to each one, drop your answer to each question below in the comments as well. Curious to hear your thoughts, but hey, let's just dive in right away with the first question. Number 3, which potential third round prospect would jump in and contribute from day one? And honestly, for this one, I can make a case for linebacker. I can make a case for running back. I can make a case for the offensive line. And while I say I can make a case for like linebacker and running back, it's because right now, the way that this team is structured, they've got so many guys at those 2 positions that are on 1-year deals. So yeah, if a guy goes down to injury or you need to sub someone in, you have veterans that you can utilize. But if you take a player in the 3rd round with all these guys that are only on these 1-year deals, you're going to want to see what you have from that player. You're going to see, hey, can this guy be a starter moving forward? He's going to get a little run. But my true answer to this question is I'm going with center. I'm actually cheating. I didn't give you one answer. I gave you an entire position, but there's a couple of guys that I would have on my radar here. Your Dylan Parham from Memphis, Cole Strange from Chattanooga, Luke Fortner from Kentucky, Zach Tom from Wake Forest. All of these guys projected to go in that 3rd round range. But I like center in this particular to answer this particular question because I could honestly see one of these guys coming in, going in the training camp, battling Michael Dieter, and potentially winning the battle. There's also been rumblings that, hey, maybe there's some other suitors out there for Michael Dieter. So if the Dolphins draft one of these guys in the 3rd round, maybe that makes Dieter expendable. I can't wait for someone to comment on Dieter. Please, someone do that as well. But that's my answer for the first question. Let's go on to the second question here. Will the Dolphins package 2022 and or 2023 NFL draft picks to trade up into this year's 1st or 2nd round? And my answer to that question is no. However, this is how things can get a little bit tricky. Let's say after night 1, after the 1st round, Thursday night, a guy like Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd or a lineman like Zion Johnson or Tyler Linderbaum, let's say one of those pretty solid prospects falls to day 2. Does Miami get on the horn and try to potentially part ways with one of those 2023 first rounders? Do they package some picks together and try to move up to get one of those guys? And what it boils down to is, do they value one of those guys that slid? That's a great prospect at a position of need over the unknown of what is provided in 2023. But the problem with doing that is you've got just this compilation of picks that you've been acquiring over the last few years. To have 5 picks in the first 3 rounds, you don't want to separate those. You want to keep those together. You want to, quote unquote, own the 2023 draft. And you are essentially doing that by having those 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. So I personally don't want to tear that down just for one prospect in this draft. So my answer is no. But like I said, where things can get a little bit dicey is if one of these prospects at a position of need were to fall to day 2 or late round 1. I guess I should throw that in there as well. Let's go on to the final question. Number 1, which realistic prospect would be the biggest surprise selection with the Dolphins pick at 102? And as we all know, number 102 is the Dolphins' first pick in this draft, coming in the late 3rd round. And my initial thoughts here was a running back. But while I don't think they go with a running back with this pick, it wouldn't truly surprise me. And it kind of boils down to what I said in that my answer to that first question is you have so many guys at the position that are on 1-year deals. So the idea, like, yeah, they just brought in Edmonds, they just brought in Mostert, and you're like, well, they wouldn't draft a running back. Well, I think that's a little bit short-minded, short-sighted. There's no reason to think that they couldn't bring in more of like a scat receiving back. They could bring in a power back. There's a couple of different options they can go here, and it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. So my answer to this one, and I feel bad because I'm cheating again, but my cheating answer is edge rusher. And I do have 2 guys kind of in mind here. Dominique Robinson, Miami, Ohio, and Cameron Thomas out of San Diego State. I actually previously did NFL draft player profiles on both those guys. Go back and check those out if you haven't already. But both those guys projected as third-round targets. Robinson actually recently just did a pre-draft visit with the Miami Dolphins. I think it was last week. But the reason why I would say that this one would surprise me a little bit is because they just re-signed Agba. They just drafted Jalen Phillips. They've got Van Ginkel heading into year 4, I believe. You've got players at the position, but at the end of the day, I don't think we can completely rule it out because you always need edge rushers. Injuries happen, and you never know with Van Ginkel being in year 4. Is he going to be around after this? Obviously, Phillips will be there, but you never can have too many pass rushers. So while these guys would be a little bit of a not quite the position of need, they could end up potentially being sought in the Dolphins front office mind as best players available, which would be, I guess, a little bit of a surprise to me. So I'm curious to hear what your answer would be to that question as well, along with all of them. So, like I said, in the comment section, let's hear your thoughts as well. But that's what I've got for today, Dolphins fans. We'll be back with a couple more videos here leading up to the NFL draft. I've got one final mock draft, which I'm going to be considering my final mock of the offseason. So we'll be getting to that one here in the near future. Keep an eye out for that. As always, subscribe if you haven't already. Keep liking the videos. And until next time, Dolphins fans, we'll see you later.